Hey, what's up, guys? This is Kim from Atlanta Gamer Life, and this is Renee.
Hi again.
So, today we're going to call this what? Motivational Mondays.
Yeah,
Yeah. And so, what we're
we
going
did.
to, so, there's a lot of changes. I don't know if we could say for the good, for the bad, but we know there's a lot of different changes that are going on, especially around uh, in particular what we can talk about, which is like Georgia, because I think what last week we had the city of Atlanta basically do a stay at home, and a lot of businesses had to run minimum. There's been some exceptions now. Basically, businesses that help keep the sanitation and maintenance are still available. So, thank goodness for that, because and thank you for all you sanitation workers and maintenance and all those guys. You still have to go out there and help us out, especially the internet peoples.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing without that internet interwebs right now.
I don't have enough books for that.
And so, but what DeKalb, like Saturday evening, they've done the same now, where there's businesses now have to, if they're not essential businesses, they have to shut down in a sense for a little bit. I
Yeah.
heard Cobb County has something going on. South Fulton already had their curfew thing. I don't know. I haven't had an update on that, but as you all are hearing, there is a thing in common. Everyone has to stay at home, and a lot of brick and mortar businesses are obviously suffering from this. Tell me how you feel about what's going on, Renee.
Well, I think it's overall, I understand, first and foremost, I understand why we're putting these things in place. As an extrovert, I hate it. But again, I would rather be safe than enjoying some sort of luxury pleasure. I'd rather be doing both, but I really do understand. But what is really frustrating is that I do, and I know we share a lot of friends who have small businesses that do have brick and mortar locations, and it is really unfortunate because it's minimizing a lot of their income. So this is, I don't know much about politics. I said before on Facebook, I don't know much about politics. I don't know much about health. I know a bit about marketing and social, and I know about the things that I enjoy. So, and I know my friends, and so I just really feel for them right now. But it's not the end all. It's not over 100%. Like while we are all staying inside, and this is a really crazy time. There are so many resources I feel like to help keep people promoting their goods and their businesses to others. Because once we're out of the house, like everyone's gonna like what is the first thing that we're going to do when we're able to just go out and hang out with a bunch of people. So being able to plan ahead is going to be helpful right now. And because there's, downtime with customers can mean an uptick in, your overall the tech in your industry, or marketing, or doing some online sales. Looking into that right now is probably a really good idea. So I'm hopeful that people are going to focus on that. And of course, if they have questions, like I'm here to help and guide and consult, or just bounce ideas off of. But just, yeah, having kind of like honing in on those friends and those relations to make sure that when you can open your doors to customers again, you're doing it in a much more efficient way.
All right. So, like, with what can we do now, minimum business wise? I know before we even started this, we were talking about some cool ideas, like sort of like doing curbside. What did you call it? Curbside.
Yeah, curbside pickup.
Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna turn off my. I'm so sorry, turning off my phone. Making
It's all
fuzzy
good.
sound. Boop. Okay, so curbside pickup is obviously minimal interaction between the store owner and the customers, where customers can't just be in the same enclosed space at the same time. The same thing with any like takeout, but with retail. Of course, there are a lot of places that have been doing takeout, specifically restaurants, or places that have been doing curbside pickup, or things like Instacart. which still puts kind of like a third party in there because it's not just the customer and the retailer, it's customer, retailer, and then a delivery person. And as of right now, it sounds like a lot of delivery people are kind of fed up with being put in the front lines for, a lot of different tasks. It's a really weird place to be right now. So, because there's a difference between self quarantining when you're already sick and social distancing when you aren't sure if you're sick and you're just keeping that 6 foot distance between you and another person. There are ways to just set it up where you have, if you don't have an online store, everybody's got Facebook. Take pictures of your merchandise, certain things that maybe just came in right before everybody went into quarantine that were really big sellers. New items that you have a lot of that you want to do a sale on, and just say, hey, hit me up on Facebook, or here's my website that you can purchase, and I'll wrap it up for you and put it in a space so that it's yours. Specifically right now with a lot of hobbyists, a lot of people who are just looking for something to do right now that's not Netflix or Hulu or Facebook, or just being on social all the time. Setting something up like that can be really helpful, and it can be, again, we have internet for right now. You could use a Facebook group. You can use Messenger. You can set up a separate website with something like Shopify or even Wix. If you're looking for, I used to tell people Wix was a cheaper alternative, but it's actually like they've raised their prices, MailChimp's raised their prices. A lot of people have raised their prices. A lot of
Yeah.
these platforms have really raised their prices
Supply and
since I've
demand,
been
man. I
using
tell
them,
you.
right? But there's definitely freebies out there. There's a whole way to sell on Instagram right now where you can, as long as you have, you do have to have a website, like an e-com site to sell for like BigCommerce, WooCommerce, all those things. You can connect that to Facebook and then connect it to Instagram. So when you post a picture, you tag it and easily people can see, oh, this is something for sale. And, set it up for purchase in store, store pickup, even do a free shipping situation where if you want to, if they want to ship it, they can. So there's a lot of options I feel like to do it. Again, logistically, it takes time, but time is the thing that I think a lot of people have right now, if they're looking for things to do kind of within their store. And again, I've got time. I'm working with a couple of people right now with their social accounts, so that's really cool. But I'm happy to at least guide people in the right direction to see how to get those things set up, specifically for their business, so that maybe by the time this starts to ease out, you will now have a new way of selling to people, not just locally, but in other parts of the country, other parts of the world, pending how much shipping costs are,
I mean,
or a way for people to just, pre-order and pick up once it immediately comes out.
yeah, that's good because, like, I know a lot of people are saying that brick and mortar businesses were going to die anyways. But honestly, I really don't think so, only because of the fact that we are social animals. Sometimes seeing and feeling the item is great. But obviously, this is another, like, I guess, something that you put in, like, this is a big thing to look at, like, bam, is in your face now. Hey, now you can't run your business like the way you want to. So what are you
Right.
going to do next? So let's go down the list of some of the places that I think, and that's related to us, because we have items that are tangible and then we have intangible items. Intangible are things like your digital products and your video games. Like we know a lot of game developers who
Hmm.
maybe you can still make money off of right now. Best time, because promote your items so people can have on their mobile phone or PC or wherever you have your game. They can actually do some, they can actually get some sales and support. But as far as, once again, back over to the brick and mortars. All right. Retail, for instance, let's say Tony's challenges.
Yeah.
So tell us, what do you think? Challenges, comics and games, is that the exact name for it?
Games and
So
comics.
okay, yeah. Let's make sure I see this. Challenges, games, and comics. Okay, that's located in Decatur. He's been in business for a long time. Everybody goes there for D&D, board games. comics, even like little clothing, cute little clothing items and things of that nature. So anything geek. And there's different stores like that around the world. For those type of stores, what is your suggestion as far as what they can do as far as curbside?
Yeah. So shout out already again to Tony because he's doing best he can. I know right now
Yeah.
he's still probably going into work every day. And so I know that he's got like a ton of PJs and like nerd and game themed pajamas and clothes, and even did like we did a photo shoot with him a while ago.
Mm.
I think I was part of that. If it wasn't me, it was definitely like a couple other people. But going back again through your content and saying, what do I still have? What can I be selling? And what can I just be posting on social? Now, you don't, of course, want to like, now is not the time to like every single hour be posting something for the next 7 days. Like, that's a lot of posting, and a lot of your posts are probably going to get not flagged, but just like missed because Facebook is going to, the way the algorithm works out is it'll
Mm.
highlight the, really popular stuff. It'll still show people that you follow and you've interacted with. But if you start like going overboard, like there's a chance it's just like, nope, you've posted enough for today, specifically if you're posting as a page and not like a person. So but putting those things together kind of like in a gallery and just setting a time to post, at least once a day, it keeps you top of mind for a lot of others who are looking through it. And again, if there's a way to, depending on your e-commerce store, if you can connect your e-com store to Facebook, you have the possibility to actually tag products. So as you're sharing them, people can just, again, click them and see, oh, this is the price, this is where to get it. And it makes a much faster like shopping and checkout experience for the person actually looking through their feed. So that's one way to do it. And then, probably would have been better to have said this ahead of time. I don't know what the postal service is looking like right now, but maybe a good idea for some businesses to stock up on like if it ships boxes or just,
Yeah.
just boxes in general, just could be plain, cardboard boxes of various sizes, or poly bags are really good for shipping. Sticker Mule, I'm pretty sure, is still delivering to at this point. Prima flyers. I don't know if they do
No,
poly
there's
mailers, but like I know that they have at least the pickup. You just can't order in store. So look around for different places that are, if you've ever had interest in selling online or marketing a little bit further, check to see if they're delivering, or you're able to pick up, and kind of stock up on those things. So if somebody orders something, just put it in a bag, put it in a box, wrap it up, and set a time for when people can come through and kind of pick their stuff up, so that you don't have lines of people or people kind of like up close with each other, or like people can just drive up and like, hey, I'm the blue car, and they just go in. I do have a blue car, and they just kind of go and like, here, window service. I don't think Tony would want to get on skates and do it, but I feel like he can do it. Um,
Sonic Drive-In for
yeah, just like a little drive through.
for
Here you
geeks.
go,
There you
little
go.
cute mask on, yeah, a little crop top. No, don't do all that. But that I feel like is just a possibility. It's just something to think about. And again, I don't run a brick and mortar business, and I don't deliver any sort of tangible goods. But sometimes it just takes the idea to get some people to think it through. I feel like for everything that's happening with Joann's and Michael's and all the Hobby Lobby is always in the news for everything. So I'm just gonna take them out. But like Joann's, everybody loves Joann's, and yeah, I get that they want to stay open because they're thinking that they're selling essential fabrics, but like they're not essential. From the information that I've learned about from friends who are nurses and just other um, research, is like anything cotton that goes over your face. I mean, it'll help if you. It's like the bottom tier of helping if you need to get not stuff on your face. And then everyone's been touching all this fabric at Joann's. It's not necessarily like, is it going to help? Is what I'm saying. But like, the same thing about the scissors. If you need scissors, if you need something because you're just crafting, I don't necessarily need to be in the store to do that. I don't need to, I can know that they have scissors. I could buy the scissors online and have them delivered. Or if the Decatur location had some sort of curbside pickup, I would just drive there with myself and pick it up. So I don't know if they're really, stuff like that has to come from the top down for these bigger businesses. So someone in-house may have suggested it, but who knows how far it goes if they're still have to keep their doors open. So I think it's like it seems like innovation, but it also seems like a step back, but it really is more helpful now than it could be. People are probably afraid that, well, if we do it now, we're gonna lose out on customers when everybody's gonna go back outside again. No, everyone's gonna want to go outside and touch and shop. That's a part of shopping. Now's not a time for shopping. Now's a time for making important purchases. So if it's gonna be essential, like I shouldn't have to browse and be like, do I need chartreuse right now, or do I need pink? Like I just know. If I'm going to a store, if I'm going to the grocery store, I'm just like, do I want frosted flakes? Do I want? I'm gonna buy the first cereal that I know I want, so I can get the hell out of there and be done. So, just taking in what is happening right now, the situation. What are people's what are people nervous about? What are people's fears? But what are people's needs and what level of essential you think they are? And just kind of acting on that, like taking all into consideration and acting on that. So hopefully that answered that. I know I went on a little
Tangent.
circle, but
It's okay.
yeah.
No, you're good. You're good
um,
because it's good to hear about other people's opinions, and but
yes, opinion. My opinion, no one else's opinion. So yeah.
now, for me, I do agree that for brick and mortar places, I highly recommend creating that online store atmosphere so people can take their time to browse and choose to give that option for either just get it mailed to you or to do curbside pickup as well. The idea of maybe creating appointments for pickups, I think is great. Like, even if it's like intervals of 15 or 30 minutes at a time, so that, every 15 minutes you got a new person, just, one individual, depending on, how big the store is. If it's probably
Right.
won't work for something like Walmart because, there's a lot of
Oh,
people coming in, but
yeah.
something like small businesses, like for comic book shops and things of that nature, just staggering appointments, even if it's
Yeah.
3 minutes, 5 minutes for pickups, and they can come in, get their pickup and go because they already
And
see
I'm
go all
even
the time.
thinking like not even coming in, because another thing I feel like it's really important, which is, what we're all doing is kind of like cleansing your space.
Oh,
So
yeah, true,
if
true.
you,
Makes sense.
yeah, if you want to keep them just kind of like, well, here's the door, and
Yeah,
like
and they
totally
prepaid for
specifically,
it
but like,
anyways. Yeah, they have
yeah,
it.
you don't want other people coming in because you don't know like where they've been, if they've washed their hands, all these other things. So, just taking, and then of course you're going to be as careful as possible. And there's just always a chance. We've seen with the numbers of the cases that we have in America and how they're growing, like there's always a chance it can get spread. So, um, but staying as keeping it as contained as possible is your best bet. Like I just don't, again, without getting political, I just don't know how they expect a lot of industries to bounce back after this if people just cut their businesses 100%. So again, the point of this is to be motivational and show like you don't have to fear what other people are saying. You can get ahead of the curve by just, you know, looking at what technology has to offer, and then also staying
Absolutely.
connected to your customers, because you have people coming through. We talked last time about email marketing. Again, don't be overly obtrusive and annoying with what you send out, but this is a good time to reach out to people, make those connections. Like, hey, look in your system, see like this dude bought. If someone bought, has spent $1,000 with me this year already, maybe I need to reach out to that guy and be like, hey, I know you're frequent in here. You buy a lot of these things. If you need me to pack up something for you and send it out, or like if you just need me to get it ready for you ahead of time, let me know, or just keep me posted on things you like, or take this time to maybe write a review for me on Facebook, or any number of things
Oh,
that you can kind of like
yeah.
connect
Get
with
them,
people
yeah,
on.
get the community started. Speaking of
Yeah.
which, a lot of communities, especially in the gaming industry, they've gone to using Discord. Um, sorry, I keep on challenges, games, and comics has also have a they also have a Discord. Other places, unfortunately, like places that are more service based, like VS Realms, Indicator, they really heavily rely on memberships. A lot of people come in there to socialize. So
Mhm.
some of the things that I've heard that they've been doing along with FGC Fight Club and Welcome to the Wall is they've been heavily trying to just continuously entertain people through live streams and
Mhm.
doing online tournaments. So
Yep.
for those who are basically into tournaments, businesses that have like intangible, more service based entertainment services, try thinking of those options because there's always been online tournaments, but now this is a great chance for you to kind of dip your fingers into that, as well
Right.
as anybody, if you had people that are streaming for you, or one of your staff members is really a big time gamer, maybe have them put a live stream together, and just have some of your customers invite them to come watch your stream and just enjoy. And there's always different options of donations and merch that you can sell and things of that nature. So
Right.
unfortunately you can't sell, or I mean, you could sell memberships, but they can't benefit because they can't come to your store. But
Right.
if you have like the ability to just at least gain or start building your community, because there's a
Mhm.
lot of people who I've heard, they're like, hey, I never heard of this place, hey, I never heard of that place, I never heard this place could do this and that. This is a great time to show what your business can do both online and offline, especially you're in
Right.
that kind of service based entertainment based thing.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your feed on that one?
Yeah, I think that that's a great, all that is really great information. People who've come to your store before or come into this space, they can at least talk about you on their streams and let people know, like, this is, I'm doing this online tournament, or usually I would be in versus Realm right now, but, obviously they gotta, game from home. Set up where somebody who's, I know they have like a lot of interns and people who are working there who do their own streaming. So just staying like connected to the community, answering questions. But while, a membership service for the actual space, yeah, we may have a lapse because they can't be in the space gaming at the same time. Like you said, stuff like merch, or I always think like a really cool like the gamer jerseys are really cool. Like maybe
Yeah.
designing one or doing some sort of like design your own jersey thing could be really cool. Or adding that into the membership, saying like, okay, if you sign up for, when we open up again, everybody gets like a free jersey. That's a little extreme. I don't know how much these
Or,
jerseys
or
cost,
you know,
but
ten
like,
percent off, 20% off. Yeah,
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 exactly.
something,
But
some
half
little
off,
extra.
yeah,
Yeah.
10% off of a jersey, or things like that. Looking into different controllers, different stuff that can be branded specifically for their space. That even if they are selling, a gaming subscription or more intangible services, they have something that remembers them, that people can remember them by. I always mention Sticker Mule because I just love them so much, and I just realized that they make like charms now. Like you can get the little like keychain
Oh,
charms.
really? That's cute.
Yeah, I didn't know this until like this week. Charms, coasters, water bottles and mugs, just anything that kind of like screams gamer. Like I have all this swag that I got from like DreamHack, and it was like a coffee mug and I think like a keychain and a belt. Like it was interesting stuff. I don't wear belts. Um, but like a water bottle, stuff like that, where people would still purchase or use, that they either like sell or give away for free. I designed some shirts and I just do social media, and I'm just like, of course, I didn't get like mass amounts printed, but I have the design for myself to wear if I ever want to just walk around and advertise me, or if someone else thinks it's cool, that's some extra that I could just make and have. It has nothing to do with social media specifically, but it is me. And of course, it's not just t-shirts, because I'm all like, t-shirts are like the low, like I like tank tops, like sweatshirts, something most people don't like. They do it
Okay,
later.
okay.
Crop tops, cool stuff that like, I wish more people would get printed. So, looking into that for their brand is going to be really good right now. And again, understandably, that if one industry is not working, a lot of industries and people aren't working. So we get it. Like, even if you make something cool and have merch, people may not be able to afford it until later, once they all start going back to work on the regular. But at least having them as options and showing them off to people, keeping that design sort of like copywritten so people know it's yours. So no one's, looking around trying to find new stuff to steal. Um, But having those
Okay.
options for going, yeah, you got to be careful with that. People, what are other artists doing? They're not touring, they're not stuff. They're sitting at home on Instagram trying to find some cool stuff that they can take from. So, make sure that your art and your stuff is protected. But use that as a chance to promote your business going forward. So yeah, I think that could be another chance of something to use this time to do. And if you feel like you're not good at designing, or you're not good at setting certain things up, or you don't know who to get things printed from, there's a lot of local printing companies too. It doesn't have to be something that you order from Amazon or from China or from these other big businesses. It can be other local places. Now's a good time to kind of research that and see.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's really good to say because actually, Mayor Bottoms decided that they would allow print shops to stay open in the city of Atlanta. So, yay! You
Nice.
still
That's
can
nice of her.
I mean, we don't know what the future holds, and this is a big subject. Conventions, we have a lot of con goers. A lot of conventions has been pushed back. Some of them decided to go online. And it's like, what happens in conventions? There's always not only community, social, and you got sales of merch. Like the dealer's
Mhm.
room is usually the favorite room, so you can see
Yep.
what you can do. You can actually see it, grab it, hold it, especially, swords, knives, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, all
But
that cool legal stuff.
so for the creatives and those who are in that industry where you're more like merchants and vendors, just the same as what we were saying earlier, you know, making sure that you really take this time out to create your online store if you don't have it already. Because, I
Mhm.
mean, a good preparation for all you con goers, social clubs, and people who know that, dealers who know that, hey, I want to like really, really show off my next, items and things of that nature. This is a great time for you to build your website, your merch
Mhm.
store, choose what type of merchandise you want to do. And if you already have physical inventory, this is a great way to go ahead and sell. And even if the convention is like, hey, we're going to do like a virtual online, they haven't really like tapered down a beautiful version of it like I would. Like personally, I've always been a fan of e-commerce in the sense of like Second Life. They sell stuff and things of that
Mhm.
nature. But it would be cool if we had like a site where people don't have to, download any kind of special type of, program, but instead, or just a little app, instead they can check out different stuff. But until then, you can
Mhm.
still go on Instagram, go on your different social medias, say, hey, check out this item I have, just like you were saying, and get them to go to your store and do some purchasing, some preparations.
Yeah.
And as we forward that to more more businesses. Okay, one other brick and mortar business,
Okay.
uh, they shut down bars, and now they have changed it to where the bars, if you're serving food, you can actually still sell food to go, and you can also sell. You're not going to be charged for selling bottled beverages to go.
All right.
So then that's just to kind of be compliant with the whole thing about social distancing. So
Right.
thank you, Mayor Bottoms, for that because
Freaking stuff. Gotta eat.
Atlanta, yeah, we got to eat and we got to drink.
I
We
gotta
love
I would
we
show
love
you
our.
my champagne bottle, but it's the same champagne bottle from the other night when I walked to do the interview. So I don't want you guys to judge me. But yeah, so good.
Yeah, not saying we're not condoning drinking, but we're just saying that, people, if they choose to do that, they can do it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Within age. But
Yeah.
yeah, so like with those places, making to go is great. They already got that pretty much set up, the model that's pretty much set up. Let's see. We got the gamers, we said the video gamers and
Mm.
developers. Great time for them to, show off their works now because we're edging to try out stuff. Beta tests should be
All right.
like I was actually surprised I didn't see as many beta tests over the weekend because I'm like, dude, This is the perfect time for you to get your beta
Oh yeah,
testers because everybody's home. They're doing nothing.
exactly.
Well, they
This would
might
be
be.
perfect time for that.
Yeah. And uh, one thing, just you were talking also about kind of keeping the store clean and taking that time out to kind of, just what was your word for it for keeping the store clean? Like just
I don't remember. Maybe detoxing or just like cleaning up. I don't remember.
detox
Yeah.
the store. There you go. Well,
That could be a physical product. It could be actual cleaning. We don't know, but
yeah, but
yeah, keeping
to,
it contained, but
yeah, there you
keeping
go.
yeah,
Yeah, containment.
having it down. Uh, D. I can't think of the word.
Well,
Yeah,
let's just say deep clean. We deep
yeah,
clean the
deep clean.
store, and this is a great time for you to do that on the physical basis. You will have to make sure, since no one's in the store, dust will collect, and that also kind of goes into the homes of people too. That's one thing I wanted to kind of close off on a little bit. A lot of you are asked to work from home, and so you're still making some money, so thank goodness for that, because that makes that makes the world go around. And I noticed that a lot of you have been donating to like even my Twitch and things like that. Thank you
Oh,
so much,
yay.
thank you. So for those who are live streamers, this is a great time for you to show off some of your works, whether you're an artist, like you like to draw, you like to play some music. Some people, they just want to support. So if you've
Mhm.
always been thinking of trying to live stream, just try it out. Don't be so hard on yourself. Most mobile phones are, yeah. You'll be a great streamer, by the way. I was thinking about
I
streaming with
try. I used
you.
to do it a lot, and then I
Yeah.
just stopped. So now I'm gonna start
No,
doing it more.
consistency is like I like started
Mhm.
like it was funny because I started streaming again, but then I started looking at some people I followed, and I'm like, oh my god, she has 40,000 followers now. What the? Where have I
Wow,
gone? And then she's like,
wow.
oh my god, is that Kimiko? And I'm like, yeah, bro. And then I go to another stream, and she's in the same stream, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? She's like, what are you doing here? You know him? Oh my god! And
Freeze,
so
drop.
yeah,
Okay.
everybody's like, hanging out and like telling each other stories of how they met, online. It's like,
That's so
wow.
cool.
It's like such a interesting online, small world online, because
Yeah.
if anyone knows anything about me, I used to play a lot of survival games like DayZ, Rust, Left 4 Dead 2. I was considered a
Left 4 Dead is
mall.
so good.
Yeah,
That's
mall
so
rat,
cool.
running around in circles. And I do a little bit of art too. So for those who are just trying to start up their own, this is a really great time because people are really showing their support, dollars at a time. I do
Mm.
recommend for people to because I know with I think Twitch affiliates you have to have like make at least 100 a month before they distribute any money. If it's less than that, they're not going to give you anything. So
Oh,
either if you become an affiliate, you kind of got to see where your options are. And I say that just read all your prints, and that'll be for another topic. But just the way businesses like you still a self business in a sense of that nature, you still want to look and see what you can do, as far as selling your own personal merch, being at home, start telling your previous fans or new fans, what your stream schedule would be, and also definitely just interacting, online, and that will help generate a little bit of money for you as well. And home and people, and once again, back to the whole cleaning at home. If you are
mhm.
deciding to do, like working from home and things of that nature, some quick tips when you are streaming, always make sure your home is at least clean a little bit.
Or you
Don't,
have a good angle like me. Makes it look like I have a wonderful wall behind me. It's so
yeah.
clean. Yeah. You
Hold
don't
on,
see all that. All that over there is
yeah, sorry, I had a phone call. The next thing is to if you're ever doing a business call, you want to make sure you actually have some type of proper attire, like a top on or something, not just looking all, what's the name. And housekeeping rules, stick with your housekeeping rules. Make sure, since now you're home more often. Unfortunately, that means you got to clean more often. Clean, dust, and stuff. So that way you make your environment, as positive as you can, because, when you're feeling down or you feel too comfortable or something of that nature, you might not be as motivated. And these times you will need to motivate yourself more
Yeah,
and build a routine, because a lot of us, like even myself, I've like, oh my God, I'm staying up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, is this going to be a routine? If it is, work with that routine. If it's not, you're like, okay, well, I need to make sure I keep, this schedule going on. And that's even
right.
for parents. But any few more fun words from you?
I was actually, yeah, going to add to that of, the, so, but right before, maybe not right before, but while it hadn't quite got to America yet, but I did quit my job, my decision. And so I'd kind of been like self-quarantining for like a while. I would still go out and do some things because, networking is a very important part of, finding your next job and or, building your own business, building your brand up. Both, all those things go hand in hand. So I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn and kind of looking at what other people in my industry are doing, not necessarily to compare myself one to one or apples to apples, but to see like what I could be learning, what new things and skills I could be doing. And now that I have to be more inside, that is really helpful to kind of backtrack and look at certifications, look at things like Facebook Blueprint, things that I know I could put on a resume and say I definitely have certification in this. LinkedIn also has things that you can get, like you can do assessment tests in Excel, Word, HTML, different things like that. So if you do bad, I think it's like 3 months before you can take another LinkedIn assessment. However, gives you some time to plan for it again. They're not super difficult if you really know what you're talking about. But it also kind of put me in a really crappy place because as all this is going down and the expo got canceled, stuff like that, it's harder to, people aren't interviewing in person, but I am still getting calls for certain interviews and certain consulting things. So, but in the midst of that, it was easy to get kind of depressed about that. And honestly, like, you see a lot of people talking this up. It is okay to feel bad. It's okay to feel not okay, as they say,
Yeah.
about what's happening, but you have to know that it's going to get better. You have to push through it, even if you don't have a job, even if you had one before and your job had to do layoffs, like all that stuff really sucks. But just know that we're going to get through this. But it's okay to take that time to just be kind of like napping, like
Yeah, some
if
much
you
needed
nap through the
naps.
weekend and you just feel like you just can't, it's okay. But have a support, whether it's your parents, your best friend, maybe even a pet. They can't really like talk you through stuff, but no, like you got to be there for that pet. You got to be there for, a fur baby or a real baby or for that next job because you're great at what you do and you just got to get there. So just keep that motivation, but also take that time to just veg a little bit because, you deserve it and this is stressful. So if you ever need that, again, there's a lot of resources online that you can reach out to in terms of your friends, your family. There's a lot of therapy sessions that you can do that are digital right now. So if you really need someone to talk to and you have a little bit to spend, check your insurance, see if you can talk to someone through it. Or just, don't make your friend your therapist, but,
No,
talk to
there's
somebody
online
about
social
what you
groups too
do.
that are free.
Exactly. So, but again, it's okay to veg, but also get back into that routine. Like Yumiko said, do a little bit of cleaning, clean the dishes, run dishwasher, clean your bathroom. I had to deep clean my bathroom, and it was not fun, but I had the time to do it,
Exactly.
and it looks great and all shiny. You guys will never see it, but it was an important thing to do. And there's other parts of my, again, my closet, different things that I'm like, I can take this time to psych myself up to do it and then get it done. And once it's clean and it's out, that's one less thing you have to worry about going into maybe a newer, way busier season. So plan for this next season to really just be
Ooh.
an upkick. And right now, just, get in a routine, coast a little bit so that you can plan for the next big thing that's going to happen.
Absolutely. Thank you
Yep.
so much.
Yep.
And she just got me thinking about, all right, we all need portfolios. Oh,
Exactly.
we need to update the resume. So who knows?
Exactly.
Maybe our our next thing that we talk about as far as Kimiko and Renee is time management. Woo!
Oh gosh,
Oh
I
yes.
don't have known that. I'm gonna talk a whole bunch of crap and be like, yeah,
No.
do this, take snap. No, but I mean,
No,
sometimes
yeah.
talking through it is what helps to like bring out in yourself. Like I know there are things that are helpful. Like I said, I'll show you. I want to be so good at time management. Like this is my life planner. It's only a year, so it's not like
Oh.
my whole life. So like,
Yeah, that's so
things like
good.
this are helpful. So yeah, I'd be happy to kind of dive into things that I try to practice to help other people be
There you
more time
go.
management.
That's good. And once again, thank you so much. It was also refreshing to see another beautiful face.
Same Z.
And guys, I don't know how often I'm thinking for sure we're gonna have the subject of business subjects on Mondays, but Renee might be here for other reasons. Talking about different interests and things of that nature. So make sure you stay tuned and continue to follow her. The information will be provided for you guys. And thank you so much. I'm Kimiko, and this is Renee. And you're talking to Atlanta Gamer. See ya.
Thanks. Bye.